and then we'll put it to Margaret content which is for foresters. So,
Yes.
What do you make of Roll just getting your scenes to the flesh?
It's massive. I mean, it's something we don't have any. Oh, well, we do. We have football stadiums like this, obviously. But yeah, I've heard a lot about Croke Park. I mean, obviously, post my time with the Box, I think the Box played here against Ireland. Yeah, and I mean, it is magnificent. It's wonderful. I just hope, I suppose, like all players and supporters and people involved, that tomorrow it will be as full as it can be, because it's a great stadium to have so many people here.
And any less pressure on the team playing a final away from home?
Well, I must say, we've actually toured quite well this year, and our win record is better than most. And I don't know why it is, we happen to have played really well away from home. It's a little bit reminiscent to when I was at the Brumbies. We went through 11 games unbeaten away from home. And sometimes when you've got that recipe going for you, it counts in your favour, because you enjoy being together, enjoy the players spending time together. And when you win, obviously those sort of memories and those sort of feelings that you have when you get back as a group is something that's special as well. So, but also, I mean, there's no doubt, guys, it doesn't matter where we played Leinster. I mean, they're a quality team. I've said it to you many times. They're the benchmark of not just the URC, of club rugby, I think, all over the world. The Toulouses and the Leinsters are the two teams that everyone wants to try and emulate. So it didn't matter where we played. I mean, let's be fair, whether it's at Croke Park, whether it's at Viva, whether it was at RDS, whether it was in South Africa, I think the challenge is exactly the same. You're going to have to play well to beat them.
Just back to the last two winners, one away from home on the draw against the hostile opposition. Is that form part of your approach or preparation for this game in terms of team talks?
No, I wouldn't say we take anything from that. It's every year it's a new year, this Saturday is a new game, a new final. So I don't think we take anything in account of what happened the previous years. I think we can just go on what we've been doing this year. I think, like I said, we've been really good away from home for somewhat reason. The group has really been getting together quite well, especially on tour. We really enjoy each other's company, really have a good time together, and that camaraderie just gets better and better. So we'll just definitely go out this weekend and give it everything we've got. I think that's the only thing we can do.
Coach, aside from not the injury unfortunately, you've made no changes to the side that beat the Sharks last week. What any reason behind that? Do they have the not think it's the best you can do?
No, no reason behind that. I mean, it's something that I've said from the beginning of the season. Every team aspires to getting the best possible 23 available for the last 3 weekends of the tournament. Wherever you end up, how many ever points you get, I mean, what all teams want to do is make sure that when the last 3 weeks come about, that you can put your best players fit and available on the field, and play your best rugby. And, there's simple. We play our best rugby on the weekend, and we win. Well, then the whole schedule and rotation and management of players is spot on. And that's all you want, is you want to give yourself a fair crack at when you get to the back end of the comp, having all the best players available. And at this point in time, these are the best players we have available for the final.
You're really Ruan, you're usually a lock, but we see unlocked the Baltimore's playing with Devon. How do you like playing flank opposed to in the slot?
Yeah, no, I must say I really enjoy it a lot. It's a bit more loose, a bit more on the edge. Yeah, for me, it's just makes you a bit more versatile. So for me, I just enjoy being at the side of the scrum, in different position. But come the day, if I have to play, as long as I can be in the team and do what I love, I'll play any position. I must.
Do you see yourself playing in different box later this year?
But definitely, if I'm good enough and they think I'm good enough and they want to give me opportunity there, I'll always, like I said, it's as long as you can fight for opportunity to be in the team and play, I'll definitely try my best to be capable of playing 7 or lock.
And then coach, sorry, what do you think about bringing Anderson once to the lock? That had been going against me now.
Well, I mean, I was lucky enough to coach Peter Steff when he was a youngster, and I moved Peter Steff from lock to flank. And Ruan's got the same attributes. He can run for 80 minutes. Yeah, he can, as I said, he has all those attributes of being a loose forward. And let's not take away the fact, guys, that in South Africa, we're blessed with many, many second rows. You know, if you look at Arceus Neyman, you look at Luit, you look at Franco Mostert, you look at Eben Etzebeth, you look at what the resources they have, then it's actually quite nice that he can double up and play another position because, you know, if he doesn't make it as a, and that's not my world, but if he doesn't make it as a lock in the Springbok setup, then he's actually proved at the highest level, which is our level, that he can play in another position. So, yeah, he's very, I mean, he's obviously, I'm glad he says he enjoys it. I would have hated if he had sat here and said, no, I don't like playing flank. But yeah, I mean, he's got a work rate. He's unbelievable. I mean, he's covered defense and understanding rugby, and then running a line out as a loose forward as well is a massive attribute, which gives us, as I said, gives us another, you know, the string to our bow.
And then, sorry, coach, do you think that allows you to have more freedom with 5-3? Because a lot of South African teams recent years have gone 6-2.
Yeah.
Do you think the having one?
Yeah, it does because I mean we've got 2 loose forwards on the bench. If you think that Johannes Kirsten and Nazam Kar can play loose forward, so if that means that you know Ruan has to finish in the second row and allows us 2 loose forwards at the back end of the game, then that's a bonus we've managed to have. I mean, there's everything. Every cloud has a silver lining. But when we had our makeup of Cameron and Ulrich Lowe, we probably were always forced to put a lock on the bench. Whereas now that he can double up as a 7, we're lucky enough to have 2 loose forwards on the bench. And things go well, and certain games we could still go 6-2. We'd still be okay to get another forward on the bench and maybe pick a lock as well. So it definitely helps from a selection point of view having a guy like Ruan that can double up as a lock flank.
And then finally, one that might have been to Ruan. We've obviously seen one penalty shootout already in the competition.
Yeah.
Are you prepared in any way for that eventuality?
Well, you've answered the question. I think it's happened twice in 20 years. So I haven't worried about it happening again, 3 times in 20 years. I'm not saying that we won't prepare for it, but the law of averages goes the way it is. It's highly unlikely that we're going to have another kicking shootout.
Any more live questions to the room? Yeah, take questions.
Ken, could you get us started, please?
Sure, thank you very much. How's it, Jake? How's it, Ruan? Jake, a couple of changes on the bench for tomorrow, for Saturday. I presume Marco van Staden must be injured because he's been pretty immense for you in the last few weeks.
Kenny starting.
Oh, sorry, misread that.
Yeah, so he's starting, Ken, and then obviously
Okay.
which Nazam comes in.
Yeah, just Jake, on Ruan playing 7, I can remember a few years ago when Ruan was just starting out with the Bulls, you used to speak about him needing to bulk up a bit more, and we know in South Africa number 7 flanks are always very big guys. That's obviously something that's really grown in his game, hasn't it?
Well, he has bulked up now. When I had him, and I told you that it was 5 years ago, he was 21 single. Now he's 26 and married. So a lot of things have changed, Ken, and he'll get bigger as his bone structure gets bigger. We're also spoiled. I mean, you say every one of our 7s are big guys. I mean, Ruan, I'm not talking like a third person here, but Ruan's as big, as heavy, and as tall as any of the 7s who've played for South Africa in the last 5 years. So, I'm not, as I said, it's not just because he's got heavier that he's playing there. He probably would have played there, and I think he has actually played there for the Bulls before. I mean, even a couple of years ago, I put him on the side of the scrum. So he's just probably getting noticed more now and doing more now because he's older, wiser, And obviously, the team's doing a lot better than we did in the beginning as well. So, yeah, it's, I repeat, I mean, I think he's doing a wonderful job there, and it's also says a lot about him, because it's not just about him as a player, it's about the team. And if Ulrich and Cameron were available and we had to rejig the makeup of the team and it meant he had to play second row, then I have no doubt that he would play lock as well. So it's where we are, and I suppose it's a makeup of what's working for us. And at this point in time, we got to ride the wave while that combination's working for us.
Nicholas, do you want to go ahead?
Thank you. Hi, Jake. Hi, Ruan. We just spoke with Coach Leo Cullen, and he was talking about the wealth of international experience at the Bulls, and he was going right down the squad list. He even called you guys a juggernaut team, saying it's going to be a massive, massive challenge to beat the Bulls. I imagine you guys will say something similar about Leinster.
Yeah, look, I think they've got 23 internationals, and that's only because they're only allowed to play 23. So they've got a lot many more internationals than we've got. And I repeat myself, Nick, it's not done with any, they are the benchmark of where every club team wants to get to. You know, any team that can have a meeting with their board and
Ollie, just one last question before I let you go. I want to stay in London for now with you, Ollie, before I come back to Patejo. I'm not sure what, excuse me, I'm not sure, Ollie, what your version of Home Affairs is. I'm guessing the Home Office or the Foreign Office.
Okay. Went from Leo Cullen to the Home Affairs. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, Nick, so, yeah, I mean, I think, as I said, they're the benchmark of where all the teams want to go. I mean, I sit as a director of rugby, and I mean, and you think about it, if you have a board meeting and you ask for a tight end prop and you get Rabbi Slimani, and you ask for a lock and you get Erke Snyman, and you ask for an inside back and you get Geordie Barrett, many clubs in the world that would be able to sit into a board meeting and not firstly get that, and secondly, not only get the positions, get that caliber of player. So, you know, as I said, Leo's right. We've got better, and our team is growing, and we are much better than we were 4 years ago when this group started. I mean, I said to Ruan when I walked in, he was 21 when he started playing, and he's now 26. And a lot of his teammates from juniors were in that team. So Grobler, who plays hooker, Gerard Steenkamp, Matanzima, you know, all those names were counterparts of his in the junior age groups. And then the younger guys like Kanan and Cameron. And so we still not where we want to be. And again, that's selfishly from me as a director, but we are far better. And I take it as a massive compliment that a guy like Leo, who I rate highly, and I know him really well. In fact, I'm giving my age away. I was coaching SA under-21s when Leo was captaining Ireland under-21. So, and I have a massive amount of respect for him. So I'm sure what he means is that the Bulls have improved, and that's a great compliment. And you know, there are some internationals, a lot more than we had 4 years ago, but I would say to Leo, we're still not where we need to be. I would like to believe that we can still get better.
Yeah, quite right, Jake. Just one more. Hooker Dan Sheehan of Leinster, he said that no team was hungrier than Leinster to win the title. What would you say about the Bulls' motivation to win this?
You know, look, I think it's one of those where everyone really, I mean, you get to a final, everyone's desperate to win. Let's be fair. I mean, anyone who ever sits in a final and says, you know, we're not desperate or we're not as desperate as the other team would be naive. So, you know, I can only worry about what we want to do. And we've had 3 chances now. This is our 3rd chance. And we will be desperate. And whether it's as desperate or more desperate, I think it goes deeper than that. You know, yeah, I think it goes deeper than that. It's not just about the rugby and desperation. I think it's about the little bit extra. And I think that's the challenge, or that's the test we're all going to have, is which one is going to be really desperate when everything is on the line.
We have a final question there from Zoom, please.
What was that?
Just final question there.
Can I jump in? Sorry.
Sure.
How's it, Jake? Brendan, yeah. Just I was wondering, with Cameron being out, I know in the past we've spoken about the amount of work he does around the field and how he gets, especially into certain places on defense, to plug up some holes. I was just wondering how that's changed your approach to the game and the balance of the loose trio without Cameron there.
Yeah, it just means that I've spent more time on my knees this week praying for rain.
Okay, but I mean, the balance is obviously a bit different with Marco there. He brings different attributes.
Yeah, he's a World Cup winner, Brendan. So, and that's a great test for him. He's playing against Josh van der Vlier, and, they've obviously played test match rugby against each other. And like anything, when you move the deck chairs, sometimes you get different options as well. And it's not, there'll be things that we won't be as good at without a guy like Cameron, but there will be things we'll be much better at with a guy like Marcel at number 8 as well. So, I don't think it really makes any difference. Again, what I'm trying to say is that Leinster will play like Leinster's going to play anyway, and we're going to have to be good enough to beat them, whether we had Cameron filling certain gaps or whether whether we've got a player that maybe doesn't have the same attributes. Who knows? Maybe sometimes the attributes that Marcel brings as a number 8, and the fact that he played for Ulster, and the fact that he understands the Irish way, and the fact that he has, I think he probably played at Croke Park as well. So, maybe those are also things that we mustn't take for granted.
Fair enough. Thanks, Jake.
Thank you.